show that it was willing to cooperate, but unfortunately, our position isn't shared by all. This is why we have no choice but to continue the occupation of Japan, and we will consider any direct or indirect action taken against us to be a declaration of war.
Hello, welcome, it's Lone Gamer UK here, back for some more SuperPower 2, part 10, and we'll pick up where we left off from part 9, load up our game. Okay, just pause things are there. Now, if you've been watching this series, you'll know that I've taken over the South Americas. Ended up fighting several wars. We're just mopping up a few forces. I can't remember where that guy suddenly come from. This is Russian. And I think it was Venezuela we attacked, and Venezuela unfortunately was allied with Russia. So actually, have I loaded up the right game here? I don't think I have, because Russia aren't at war with us. My apologies. It's that one there, G10. There we go, that's better. Well, not necessarily, but so yeah, so when we took over Venezuela, several countries, Romania, Bulgaria, Croatia, Belarus, and Russia, not to mention Thailand, Indonesia, are all now declared sworn enemies of the United Kingdom. Now, we've lost our nuclear capability, unfortunately, because I have no fleet forces whatsoever. It says I've got 6, and that's because I have built some vanguards and some patrol aircraft, but I'm in the process of training those. So now we have had Russia invade the South Americas, and we've beaten back I think 3 or 4 battles with Russia, beating them quite handsomely, I may add. Although we had a massive naval battle up here off the coast, one which was a very heroic defense. The first battle, we actually won that battle and killed a huge Russian fleet, but it left us with very few ships, and then another Russian fleet, massive fleet, came along, and unfortunately we lost our Queen Elizabeth carrier and the rest of our fleet. So we've got some sizable forces in South Americas. This one here, 78,000 men, 437 air, 513 ground, and this one here, 89,000 troops, 1,231 ground and 99 air. We've also got reasonable force up here of 20,000, 793 ground and 250 air. And that's about it. All these other tokens are very small amounts of troop, just placeholders really. We did move one of our big forces back to the United Kingdom for self-defense. Sizable amount of men. Now if we don't get nuclear attacked, and they keep sending conventional forces in sort of 5 and 10,000 or 20,000 numbers, Russia, then we'll beat them handsomely, as we have done already in the battles in the last video. Hi Mark, how you doing? You're glad to be here and not at work, I bet. But work is not much fun. Very important work. Well, I hope you've got a couple of days off, or you've just had a couple of days off. I think the most of it, the kids go back this week, don't they? So mine doesn't go back till Thursday, but she's away tonight, my daughter, with having a party. So yeah, we're at war with Russia. Yay! So I don't know how much combat's going to happen in this, because I can't really do much offensively. I'm just trying to build up, repair what, you know, we've had some big losses, let's face it, but we've dealt bigger losses than we've received. This is the fleet that killed the remainder of our navy, and there were 2 fleets of about 70 odd ships, and we did very well against the first one and crushed by the second. So yeah, so really what I want to do is just have a little look at the economy. I don't know how this is going to go the next video or two, because it's either going to go one or two ways. Either we're actually going to conventionally win some wars against Russia and some of these other countries that have taken us, and like we have done with all the countries we've gone to war so far, eventually beating them and taking over their lands, or Russia's going to nuke us, or nuke our military. At the moment we can't really nuke them, but I have got a few nuke submarines being built, and when they're built I could maybe nuke Russian forces, although I fear the retaliation would be quite overwhelming. But we'll see. So we're just going to say the developments of Russia attacking us and going to war with us in the last video was a little bit of a surprise. So our economy is absolutely crippled with all these wars and battles and building naval forces. So at the moment we're still making no real more money than we ever made before, 159 billion income. Unfortunately our expenses are 135 billion plus all these fixed expenses of another 34.5 billion. We're running a deficit of 10 billion, and we've got available funds of -4. We've actually got no friends in the world whatsoever, by the way. We did have America, Canada, but if we look at diplomatic relations, you'll see that yeah, even the United States hate us, -66, and Canada -62. So basically what I'm saying is we're alone. We have no friends, so we either die or we win. Yeah, so I don't know, this could be the last video of this if this ends the game. In a way, 10 videos sounds like a nice round number, but if we beat Russia like we did, we could continue this on for a little while. So we'll see. They've stopped attacking me, so they sent these 3-4 forces down. Funnily enough, they just skipped England and went straight down to South America, and my armies beat them. And then they stopped attacking. But I don't think it will be too long before they start again, so I have got time running. So let me just see if there's a few things I can do. Let's get England up. Let's have a look at the budget. Let's look at resources. Now we keep having all these sways of territory, but then we lose the territory again when people re-invade. But we're not losing the 60-70 billion in resources that we used to be, which is a bit disappointing that this hasn't got a lot better. But I don't know, that's because we didn't hold it long enough and then we kept losing it and gaining it. I've got a little bit of territory here I need to take, but I've now lost my navy, so I can't invade any kind of islands or anything. I could go for this country, but I'd have to make war on this one because I've got no navy, or ask permission to travel through their country, which I don't think Panama's probably going to be too chuffed with that, based on my previous actions. So we're just going to let the game go on for a little bit and see what happens with the economy. I want to see what Russia do. If we have a look at Russia, military wise, they've got 119,000 men. We've got a lot more than that. We've got more soldiers than them, and our soldiers are trained. Land forces, they had about 24,000, but we just killed a few thousand land forces that were sent down to South Americas. Air forces, they're massively overpowering us, and the same with naval. So if you look at the UK, we've got 286,000 troops, only 3,300 land, 1,277 air, and we've got a few patrol boats and some subs being built and trained. But we're sort of crippled money-wise, so yeah. Well, I don't really have the resources to build up the defences, but I moved these down so up from South Americas back to the UK, along with our home defence fleet. So we've now got nearly 100,000 men. We've got 200 aircraft there, 200, so some 400-500 aircraft. But I wanted to see, because they weren't really attacking the UK, they were just kept coming down to here. Then it gets a bit messy because I keep losing territories, because it's hard to not lose them when they come down with several forces. You have to beat their main battle forces, so I've actually combined, I can't remember which one it was, but I've got 3 forces. I did have a couple others, but I merged them into one. I've got no plans to go further at the moment out of the South Americas, because we've got a lot of new enemies now. So I'm going to see what happens. Well, strangely enough, we're just about to go into 2017 in the game time. Far off it. November. Not that that means anything really, doesn't change the resources I have. This is quite an old game. There are a few mods out for the game which you can put some more modern forces in, but the game's got a few bugs. It's not probably a game that's worth modding too much at the moment, and lost all its development. They're not doing anything with the game anymore. Not that I can see anyway. So the deficit's coming down a bit, and I did put up my taxes a little bit in the last video, about 0.5% or something. Put it up to that 37.5. Brings the deficit down a bit, but Russia just seemed to be they've got this fleet here. Now while this fleet is here, they can only invade my islands with a fleet. I'm sure they've got more fleets dotted around somewhere. They've got 5,000 of them somewhere. And I can't say I've really seen many of their fleets. We destroyed 60 odd ships, and then they've got, I think it's 70, was it 77 here? Yeah, 76 ships are there. These must be all land forces where they're placed. Is Moscow? Moscow? Moscow. So if they deploy troops and stuff, that's where they'll get deployed. Let's have a look. But because we've got men, we don't really, you know, one thing I did think is bring in a small fleet to the coast here, just so I could get my land forces in and then just start taking bits of Russia. Which would pretty much... Thing is, when I'm on this continent, these guys here, you see, they can't attack me because they can't go through territories like this. And they've got no navy. But if I do go into Europe, literally every one of these red dots, even these ones here, if they've got a straight path through red territory, will come and find me. Can't see that ending too well. Uh, 14th of December, so 2017 coming up. Got this election, 64% approval. Look at building a few more land forces now. Can't go crazy because I don't really have the money, but I think what's very useful is air power and artillery. So build a bit of artillery, a little bit of naval artillery and air power. I was hoping the economy would really pick up, but I guess these countries have got debts and expenses, so it hasn't really. Minus 122. Not got any friendly countries now that will take my debt. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if we took our forces out of the South America completely, I mean, when Russia attacked in the last video, they came down here and just started taking territory left, right and centre, so we had to lose some, beat the Russians and then take it back again. So I just imagine that some of the other countries will just start taking the space offers. But it's not the end of the world. I mean, the thing is, I've got no navy now to move my troops back to the UK. I'm building a small amount of navy. What I will do though is build a few destroyers, because you need at least a destroyer. To be able to move your troops. Okay, these are very vulnerable to the fleets getting attacked. This is what happened. All I'm going to do with these for the moment, while we don't need them, is train them. And I'm only building those nuke subs so that we can actually launch some nukes if it came to it. Because I lost my nuclear capability when our submarines were destroyed in the naval battles. I'm not investing in anything. Research is right down, propaganda. Don't really understand the economy in this game. It's pretty hard to, if you start getting involved in fights and battles too. Basically, I think you just play this game two ways. You either try and just win it militarily and don't care about the debt and stuff, or you try and avoid all wars and just try and become economically powerful. Right, we're into 2017. Russia just don't really seem to be doing it. I wonder where their navy is, because I mean, they could be essentially not deployed, because it counts them even though they're not deployed. But they've got 5,046 and I can only see 77. And if they're anywhere, they'll show up on the map, but so it looks like they're all not deployed. Therefore, if I was going to take Russian territory, I'd want to take the ones where the navy would normally deploy from, the coastal. You know, if I took their coastal, they couldn't deploy their navy. Though theoretically they can move their capital to somewhere that has a coastal region and maybe do it that way. Nothing seems to be happening much here. We've gone on a few months in game time. January 2017. Let's put this down here. I keep forgetting to do that. What was no? They've got naval air power. They've got 5,000. Oh, sorry, yeah, 5,046 is their air power. Their navy is. Sorry, yeah, I got it the wrong way. Their navy's 235, but I can only see 77 deployed on the map. They got a couple hundred. And if they brought that air power and their land power, and then, you know, all these countries hit me at the same time, I don't think there's really much I could. I think it's actually helping me that I'm on an island, and that actually some of these countries that are in the way, they're neutral, so but Russia did get involved. This is a Russian navy here. can't see the breakdown now because this is a bug. This has been like this for the last 3-4 videos. They don't deploy, so I can't attack them, and I can't take the territory either. So as soon as we see some red lines moving around, we'll know that Russia. Look at my. Bring my builds up. Let's keep that window open. Right, we'll train these. Not been built yet. No, I don't think we can do that. We can't attack the Navy with our aircraft. We can't engage a fleet without a fleet, so these guys can't. It's a bit crap, I know. The only air power we can have is carriers, and we did have about 7 and we lost them all. Deficit's going back up because of the military stuff we're doing, even though we're not doing very much. They just don't seem to be. I mean, what I'll do. I mean, they might attack me. Sometimes they just do it at a certain point, but I might wait till I've built those destroyers, and then I could maybe, because I've got a barrier like these countries, it might be best for me to take my navy and just start taking these small countries. So I mean, they're not high forces, but if they all gang together with the Russians. But if I was to take some of them first, I mean, just thinking Russia would probably move. They can move in that. They can move there. They can move there, but because of these countries, they probably can't move to. Yeah, see, that country's blocking the 2. So I could maybe try and take these 2 countries over. So that might be a plan. I need to. I can't afford a navy. I mean, these 4 vanguards are costing me like 2 billion each, and even a bit more maybe with the training. But if I build these destroyers, these Manchesters, I can put them down here, and then I'll be able to move forces. Well, it might be best to split them into two lots of 5, because then I can take forces off the South Americas if I need to. And put 5 off the coast of Croatia. Maybe that's what I'll do. But any moment, I'm just thinking what Russia. I mean, obviously with a navy, if I get a navy, it comes off the coast of England. Then I could be in trouble. But if you look at most of these naval forces, I mean, they're all sleeping. They're not readied. That's sleeping. That's sleeping. That's sleeping. I mean, they can turn them back on, obviously. Losing more money now, even though I put taxes up. Now I was down to 8, now I'm losing 11 billion. That was a minus 114 or 12 when we started the video. It's now minus 127. These planes are nearly done, and then it will start building the ships. Yeah, because if I went on the offensive, as I say, I've either got to go over here and start taking Russian territory, or here, St. Petersburg, or do what I said, do Croatia. But when you take these countries, I mean, the thing is, you don't know who they're allied with, and then suddenly, you know, you're fighting 5 or 6 others. That's the thing, it constantly changes. Or I could just come down here and try and take Indonesia. And then we've got Thailand as well. But then I think Russia would probably get a China would probably get a war with us, and then thing is going to war with some of Venezuela was already red when we attacked them, and I thought I was safe. But because Venezuela was, even though these countries are at war with us, if we attack them and they've got allies, let's say it's Spain and Italy or something, then they'll turn red and attack us as well. So that's sometimes a little bit of an unknown, and that's what's happened with the South Americas. I mean, I kind of did want to take over the whole South Americas, but every time I took one country, 3 or 4 others went to war with me, and I was thrown straight into wars at a time I wasn't planning to do. Train up those to 2, the planes to at least 1, maybe 2. The nuclear subs higher. Not gonna worry about the patrol craft. Now I can't invade countries and stuff with the patrol. I think I have to. It has to be a carrier or a destroyer, from what I read. For you to be able to put troops on another sea-land border. So we'll build these 10 Manchesters, and then we'll split them into 2 groups of 5. I'm probably not going to train them because I think they're going to get smashed anyway. Yeah, it's a bit. I mean, America really. America's not very strong, militarily. I mean, it's got the nukes and stuff, but that doesn't seem to matter. I mean, that's, you take over rich countries. I mean, Brazil and Argentina and I've got some wealth, and it's not really added to my wealth at all. So I'm not sure that the game really models that very well. Not based on the experience I've had in this game. I mean, also theoretically, I haven't really seen too much downsides. I mean, I've still managed to keep my approval rating in the sort of 50s and 60s. I mean, it might be if I go trillions in debt or something, but whether that's, you know, 20, 30 bill down or 100 bill down, it doesn't seem to affect me too much. So when I can't invest in as much things as I want, but I'm not losing, not getting a revolt at home or anything like that. Stability of the country is still good. Corruption's okay. Approval's okay. So how are we doing? Alright, so we've built 6 Manchesters. 4 more to go. I'm going to train the aircraft. It'll cost me a bit of money. But I can train those up. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to deploy these. Oh, I can't, they're still training. Nope. I hate it when it does that. Looks like it disconnected my OBS, so this video is going to be in 2 parts. Again. Bloody internet. I expect on YouTube it's funny because on YouTube when you get a very quick disconnection on and off, the video tends to stay intact on YouTube, but on Twitch it will always split it into 2 videos. Oh well. Okay, 1 more Manchester to go. There we go. I'll just wait for these planes to be trained. I think out of the plans, I think I'll go and try and attack Croatia. I can see me just come. I think all that's going to do though is I'll just end up going to war with pretty much everything in Europe till we get smashed. Okay, they're done. Deploy, and they're done. Deploy. Now, to take those and I'm going to merge them with those. Okay. Okay. So let's thinking, why can't I deploy them? But I deploy them by. I'm just going to stick these patrol craft around. As soon as I do that, they get attacked, and that's what I was afraid. That's a good job I'll not put my vanguards out, because I'm going to split these. These are going to get smashed super quick. So comes that fleet at 77. There's nothing I can do now. I think these ships are going to get smashed. I'm going to try and move one to... Come on, move. Yep, right, it's gone to attack the other one. Not very much I can... Now, might be close enough, so let me see if I can now move these to... See, it has, but look, Italy's gone to war with me, Finland. See all those... disastrous. Ah dear. And their navies aren't going to mess around. I don't know how many it was, but there's about another 10 countries that went to war with me then. So Norway did, Sweden, Italy. It didn't actually move my troops. No path available. We need to... Not letting me do that, so this is bad news, because even though I've not attacked them and moved my forces, I mean, all these have still gone to war with me just for attempting to do it. Oh shit. Don't know why that's not working, because I've been able to do it before. I don't need anything off my coast, just something off the coast I'm trying to invade. There is a path. These guys just go straight to the countries. It doesn't need a path as long as... it doesn't matter now, does it? War with everybody. Jesus. Albania, for the love of God. Keep thinking I'm clicking on that land, for the love of God. It's part of the problem still. Clicking the sea. Oh, still won't let me do it. Right. Yeah, I think this game's pretty much over. I'm going to... I mean, I don't know if I'll get a chance to do this, because they'll probably just get smashed by the forces anyway, but... no. Ah, crap. Let's see if I, before they die, let's see if I can launch an attack. Russia. Should have slowed the game down. Or even paused it. I messed up. I don't need to use all those nukes. I'm going to lose them anyway, I think, in the fight, but let's use them all anyway. No, let's not changing the casualties. Let's see if it does it. What happened? Didn't see any launches. Where are my subs? Well, that was an anticlimax. That isn't meant to be what happens. I think they may be lost in that battle, because you do actually see the missiles going and explosions and... Yeah, I think they just got wiped out in that battle before. Population is turning on you. Well, not surprised. I just tried to nuke Russia. Don't have any nukes now. Yeah, so I'd have to build. Well, let me build them now. Oh shit, it's because the game's paused. Oh, that's why. I did have the nukes. I had the game paused, didn't I? Okay. Yeah, slightly mass. SuperPower 2, the end. We're at war now with America, everybody basically. Because that's the thing, even if you wanted to nuke people right at the beginning of this game, you pretty much get a war with everybody if that happens. Well, that was impressive. Oh, like Sheffield or something getting... What the heck's going on? What's getting nuked now? Oh. Right. Let me just pause that. Where did it... It's funny, it's got Russia's launching a nuclear attack before me, but I launched the attack, Russia launched the attack. Nuclear attacks have killed 1.6 of the United Kingdom. Don't have that many people in the United Kingdom, but that's probably... And I killed 1.7, I killed more in Russia. I did aim for military rather than civilian. Following country was a victim of a nuclear attack, United Kingdom. Following country was a victim of a nuclear attack, Russia. My forces are actually... Jeez, what? They're unaffected. I've got the same amount of troops. After I nuked them. What? What? Population's turning on me. Meanwhile, look, all their military's gone from Russia. Pretty much. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Is that a bug? Because look, all their military in Russia's disappeared. I mean, everyone else is at war with me. It's gone red. Yeah, Mark, you were doing the, you were checking these guys. Well, if we look at my military, I've still got 286,000. I suppose maybe they just nuked my cities, because if they didn't go for military and they went civilian, that's probably what it is. Let's just have a look. Approval 1%. I mean, it'll probably end the game for me, but is there something? That's why. That's what happened. I attacked their military and pretty much took out every single. I mean, there's a few there, and my military's still there. They must have hit my cities and my population, because you can choose either or. I don't think you can do both. It has to be one or the other. What I was going to do then, just to see if I could. Well, there was something that said how much population I had. Oh, budget's gone down about 50 billion. That's probably got a few less people living in the United Kingdom. There is something. Is it this thing here? More info. This is it. So there we are. I mean, it said, didn't it? It said. It doesn't say whether it's. I mean, this is why. I mean, I do like this game, but there's so many bugs with it and so many things here. The nuclear attacks have killed, and we must have hit cities and stuff as well where their forces were. 1.6 million. But I asked to hit their military, and most of their military units have gone. We'll check what they've got in their stats in a minute. Sorry, we lost 1.6, but I mean we didn't have 1.6 billion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is there a point there, or is it just 16? We lost 16 million. I'll read it. 528,000. It looks like we lost 16.5 million people, and we killed 17.8 million people, but most of that was forces and wherever the forces were stationed. Our populace has gone down, probably by about that number, 16.5, because we were 60 something million. 43, 53. Yeah, I think it was about 59 million. That's why our taxes dropped. But considering, I think we came off pretty well. Doesn't look like there's been any nuclear bomb damage. So I've got 286,000 troops. I've still got I've got all my forces. Let's have a look. The lesson in this is always go for the military. Right, there we go. So they did have 119,000 men. They've now got 6,192. They've got nothing left. Look, the navy's gone. Wow, I can take over Russia. I mean, maybe the game will just because I do have 1% approval rating. Right, I'm gonna move these guys. Great, Russia's there for our taking. Might have to fight the rest of the world, but you know, they have them. I mean, when they're red like this means they're actually at war with you and will attack you. It's not. So, kind of doesn't matter. I think the game's pretty much over, but we won't end the video just yet. We'll just see what happens. If it ends the game because of my approval rating. Oh look, somebody's still friendly with us. Who are these? Germany. Oh, Europe, man, we love you. France. Yeah, look, Belgium, France. Yeah, no worries. They don't love me, but they're not at war with me. I have got navies that can attack me because pretty much all of these are my enemy now, but the Russians don't have a navy now. They've got no naval units. 293 air. They got more men in this fleet than their whole. Why can't I flip and move on? Trying to move them to a coastal. I'm just wondering if because I need to. Maybe that's why I couldn't move them before, because they moved? They haven't moved, have they? Lost control of one region. All South America. What's going on? All up. We've attacked 10,000 men? I don't think so. Well, I'll just ask you to move to the flipping coast of Wales or somewhere. Somewhere I've got access to the sea. Right, now they're moving. Now, because they were, thing is, that is a hole. I was just thinking if that was why I couldn't move them into. Why won't it let me move them? Maybe it's not destroyed. Maybe they changed the game and I had to do aircraft carriers. I haven't tested the destroyer thing. I only read it. Shit, what? All these vanguards? What? Oh Christ. Need to build all those. Spent the flipping money though, haven't I? It just may be that the destroyers are what I need. I'm losing regions over here. Excuse me, sorry about that. Right, I've asked you to move. Get on with it, move. keep moving. I need to get these over here. America's going to attack me. I mean, that's right, I'm not doing anything different from before. I think it's just that probably the destroyers aren't what I need. I do need an aircraft carrier to invade. And it's not telling me, it's just making the noise. Right, we'll have to wait till that aircraft carrier gets built. It'll be a while. Sort these guys out. So we're on the bottom. Look, invincible. Approval's going back up fast, so 28%, 29. What? We're in that land, why isn't it ours? If it is. Well, it looks like a bit of territory's not taken, but not. Never gonna with the bugs in this game are left clicks. And, yeah. Still don't take it even though it's in the damn thing. Oh god, where have I got to click? $39.5, so approval's coming back. Economy, forget it. Just waiting for this aircraft carrier. How's he doing? Ooh. Ooh. Why did it build those first? I'm sure I put them as just medium. I can take over any of these countries now because they're all at war with me. Right, invincible. Right, I'm just gonna... I mean, it might get attacked straight away, but I'm just gonna... No. This game keeps trying to crash on me. Yes. I don't know if the game's actually crashed now because not saving. As I'm going to have to reload it probably from an automatic save. Tries to crash straight away. Oh, this is gonna work. Bear with me a sec. I'll restart the game. Oh dear, that save. Oh, balls. Because that is before. Every time I load that, it loads the bug and the crash in. I just can't seem to save it. I think it'll let the game play. Where's my carrier gone? That seems to be working, but can I actually move anything? Or has this gone back to before I actually built? Yeah, these guys are down here. This is before, but I can't move them. Like the game's crashed, and if I've still got this message, you see. So if when the game runs, if I just do nothing, but if I do that, it ends the game. Oh well, I don't know. I'll have a think. I'm going to stop the video here. It's getting late. It's nearly midnight. So yeah, we'll see. I might just end the SuperPower 2 series there. It's getting a bit crazy at the end with the bugs. So we've got like some movies. We've got alternate endings. We've got an ending where the nuclear war never happened. One where we took out Russian military power and was on the rise again to march into. But we essentially were at war with every country on the globe. Or some other alternate reality. Anyway, thanks for joining me. So this is a very old game, 2004 game, lots of bugs in it. Hope you enjoyed this series and this game. Don't forget, I've got many other games going at the moment. Interplanetary Enhanced Edition. We started a new play series of Software Inc. I'm also doing more Cold Water solo battles, and I've got a couple other games for September. I'm looking at introducing some play series on for September and October. So yeah, thanks very much. This is Lone Gamer UK. I'll see you again next time. Cheers now.